Hi everybody, it's me Samantha, and I am here to talk about wardrobe declutter. This is a topic that you see all over the internet all of the time, but you're also seeing that in a combination of fashion hauls, fashion bloggers, um, and also like not just fashion bloggers, but like just hauls in general. Everybody's always shopping. There's always an advertisement out there that is going to entice you. I know for sure I have horrible history with shopping, and I want to tell you where my journey started and maybe give you some tips, tricks, or just discuss about different methods of decluttering your wardrobe. And I first want to start out by talking about the difference between decluttering versus organizing. So, a lot of times you see videos where they talk about decluttering their wardrobe or reorganizing their wardrobe, and they all kind of seem to be like the same thing. But there is a clear difference between the two. The difference is decluttering is you're going into the process knowing that you're going to get rid of a significant amount of things. Reorganizing is just finding new places to keep all the stuff that you have already. And maybe in that process, you might find a few things that you're going to get rid of, but it's not the same. You're actually just moving things around so that you can keep all of the things that you have, which is fine if that's what you want to do. I'm not saying that people do that like it's a problem. Like if I had a mansion and a whole separate bedroom to be my closet, like for sure I'd be reorganizing that. There would be no declutter. But that's not the life I'm living. So some of the tips that I have used, I want to share with you. So let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is finding the reason why you want to declutter. Do you want to declutter because everybody's doing it, because you just watched Marie Kondo's Tidying Up on Netflix, because you just saw a video of this girl like cleaning out half her closet? Or is it because you really have a desire to have less? Or because you want to curate your closet so that when you go in your closet, you actually feel like you're getting an experience? Or is it for another reason? Is it because the chaos of your wardrobe is causing you stress and anxiety? It might be all of those things. For me, it was a combination for sure. And I want you to remember that reason when you are going to declutter. Another tip is to literally designate time to do the declutter. So you could be like, yeah, at some point I'm going to go through my room, and then like you're watching TV and then you're like, you know what? I'm just going to get up and like go through my closet. Chances are you're not really going to give it the attention that it deserves because you didn't give it a designated time, an allotted time. Also, that's like a way to get yourself kind of like overwhelmed, because if you're doing it late night, you want to go to bed, you have work in the morning, the kids get up early. There's not a lot of time in that to get it done properly. So I definitely would say pick a day or a time, like take a day off from work, or say Sunday afternoon. No one's allowed to bother me. Hubby's taking the kids to the movies, and mommy's going to work on her closet, because that is going to get you to focus. Also, you don't need to like declutter by yourself in silence. Like play music, put something on the TV for the background. Don't put like your favorite movie that's going to like tempt you to sit down and like legit watch the whole thing. But like play something in the background, create some like kind of calming atmosphere that's comfortable and also is going to give you motivation to continue to go. I know that when everybody was doing the KonMari method, even myself. We like legit like emptied our closets. We took everything out of our dresser drawers and we threw it on our bed. We were digging stuff out of like our basements and we were throwing it all on our bed, and we were like, holy crap, we have about 5 trillion things, enough to clothe an entire little country. Like, what the hell is going on? And then you're overwhelmed and you're like, there's no effing way I'm gonna be able to do this. How am I even gonna clear the bed so I can go to bed tonight? Because there's no way it's getting done, and all this stuff is just gonna be chilling. And then you've lost all of your motivation. Hopefully that didn't happen, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But for some people, that is a thing. So if that seems like it's a lot for you, if you're somebody like me who suffers from anxiety, that might not be an option for you. And if that's the case, I suggest maybe like saying, I'm gonna spend an hour tonight working on this one drawer with all my denims. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna spend an hour going through all of my t-shirts. And do that, because you don't need to have it done overnight. I've been decluttering pretty much all year long, and I still have so many things that my goal is not to even get it done like in a month or 2 months, but like hopefully to accomplish and like be where I want to be by the end of 2020 and maybe midway 21. So don't feel pressure to get it done right away either. If you do feel confident to move forward with the KonMari method, I do really like the idea that when you decide that an item is not going to be something that you're going to keep, this is something you're going to donate or that has passed its expiration, that you think the item. And the reason why I like that so much, I know a lot of people think it's like foo-foo and it's funny, but the reason why I like that item is there was a tank top. A stupid tank top that I wore on my first date with my husband. And I kept that tank top for 8 years. And I never wore it again. It was cute for the occasion, but it was actually something that I wouldn't have normally wore. I bought it purposely for the date. And it sat in the closet and I never ever wore it. And I kept it because it had that memory attached to it. And my husband doesn't even remember what the hell I wore to our first date anyway. So like the emotional part was really just on me. And being able to tell the item like, thank you, you served this purpose, that was a lot. So I was able to take that feeling and kind of feel better about letting the item go on to a new home. And I think that is extremely helpful if you're somebody who finds that you are emotionally attached to a lot of items in your closet. If you hold on to clothing the way that you hold on to a memory, that KonMari method may be for you, for sure. Another method that I found, I actually discovered on Pinterest, and I believe there's a website. If I find it, I'll link it down below. This woman who I believe had MS, suffered really badly, and she needed to kind of simplify her life to make it easier and more functional because she was suffering kind of on a daily basis, created this system called the Project 333. And in this Project 333, the idea is that you take all of your clothes out and you pick 33 items for a 3-month period. So every season you have 33 items. They could be 33 different items every month, every season, but you want to make sure you have basics in there, and then you can swap out some of the other optional things every 3 months. And with the clothes that you're not keeping out in your project 333, those can go away in storage. But you will find doing that method that you're not wearing certain items. Maybe you chose something for your project 333 and then you realize you don't like it, you don't want to wear it, it doesn't make you feel amazing, you put it on and there's no inspiration. That tells you that that item is ready to go. And you can pull something else out of your project 333. But you will learn something about yourself. There's also capsule and French wardrobes, which I haven't studied completely on, but I believe they focus more on like a color story. It's like a project 333 where you have a very minimal amount of clothing, and you may include like your accessories and your jackets and your shoes in these types of, like the project 333. I think people actually like include their accessories, their shoes, and their coats. So only having 33 items between all those categories, denims, knits, shirts, joggers, all that was gonna be tough. But if you can do it, go for it. But a capsule wardrobe is very similar, but it's more in the muted neutral tones so that everything can kind of match and go with each other. There's also the idea of, for minimalist, this isn't necessarily something that was designed, I think, for wardrobe declutter, but I think it would be pretty ingenious if you have an excessive amount of clothes, like a ridiculous amount of clothes. Like if you have 2 closets that are full and a dresser, and you have like bins full of clothes, and that's just for like one person, this might be like something that you could apply to your wardrobe. Is the 30-day minimalist challenge, where each day you get rid of an item according to the day of the month. So if it's the first of the month, you get rid of 1 item. If it's the second day of the month, you get rid of 2 items, and so on and so forth till you get to the 30th day and you get rid of 30 items. It may seem like an easier route for you because you're starting off really small, and then in the end you're going to exercise that muscle of getting rid of things, and by the end where it gets a little bit tougher, you kind of learn some skills and you gain some of that muscle on making decisions on what can stay and what can go. Another tool that I use is not really like a rule or a challenge or a method that's specific, but every week on Sunday night, I pull about 5 or 6 items from my closet. And this also goes for like underwear, because who knew that I had like 80 pairs of underwear? And I know I don't wear all of them. Like I pull up 5 or 6 items every Sunday, and then I call it like the chopping block. These items are on the chopping block. This week I need to wear all of these items and make a decision on whether or not they're worth keeping or not. And if I'm going to keep them, I put them in my regular hamper. If I'm not going to keep them, I put them in a separate hamper to later be washed and donated. So the last thing I want to just kind of reiterate is try to not get discouraged. Remember that there is no deadline to getting everything decluttered, unless you're like moving out in 2 days, and in that case I don't know what to tell you. But don't set yourself like a date kind of deadline that's going to discourage you, and make it a relaxing time when you do declutter. Put some incense on. If you have one of those oil diffusers, put that on. Put some music you like, maybe play the TV in the background, whatever makes you relaxed. Also designated time to do these things. And then remember, when you're making these decisions, that you can definitely try things on, but think about things like, does this make me feel good? Does this fit well? If you have to question yourself that maybe the item should stay, you're not really sure, that might be a sign there that it's time for it to go, because you should know that you love the item and that it looks good on you and it makes you feel a type of way that you want to keep that. Also, another cool tip that I have for you is a minimalist tip that I heard of called the 90-90 rule. And you can look at a specific item and then decide, have I utilized this item, in this case, piece of clothing, within the last 90 days, and or do I intend on using it within the next 90 days? If you cannot see yourself utilizing it in the next 90 days and you know you haven't used it in the past 90 days, then that might be a sign for you to pass it along to a better home. So I hope these methods that I just kind of went over with you and tips and questions were extremely helpful, and I hope that you get value out of my videos. And if you do, please be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you can keep coming back for more. And I'm going to continue to create content for you. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.